Odysseus when he saw the giant ice knights.
Okay. So, what would you like to start? What would you like to talk about first upon watching the Odyssey?
Okay, one thing I just want to like say real quick. It wasn't enough to bring the score down by a ton, but like I'd say the first 20 to a half hour is kind of a little rough.
I
And
feel like that's
I don't know what it is, cause like okay, I fell, but I felt like in that first half an hour, everybody was like not on their A game like at all. Like I remember thinking, okay, I can see why everyone's saying like Tom Holland wasn't really on his best performance. But then like there were some scenes with Matt Damon. It's like, dude, he's not acting like he's in a very serious situation. The way he was delivering his lines was kind of like off. But then as the movie progressed, everybody just locked in because the performances didn't really bother me. Like I was like, yeah, I'm locked in. They're locked in. Everyone's locked in. Um, what else did I not like about it? Because that's obviously the shorter thing of the
yeah,
two.
yeah. Talking about like everything negative first.
Oh
Just
yeah.
to
Another thing I wanted to point out. Listen, with Agamemnon, right?
Mhm.
His suit is tough, right? He's aura farming. But I'm sorry, I don't buy that as real armor. That shit looks plastic as hell in that movie. Like the rest of the armor is like all right, it's fine. I don't have a problem with it. But like as cool as it is, it looks too smooth. I don't know how to describe it, but it does not look like
I
actual
feel like
armor.
most of the armor could have done with like battle scars, like Agamemnon. I feel like should have
Yeah,
been.
because it looked like it was just out of the 3D printer. It did not look very believable.
Yeah,
Like, was
like
it
dude,
tough? Yeah, but
I've seen people, like cosplay as Agamemnon and like build his helmet from a 3D printer, and I swear to God, it looks the exact same as in the movie.
I wouldn't be surprised if like that's what the movie one is. They just 3D printed it. Um, let me think. What else? What else did I not like? Because there wasn't honestly. Oh yeah, listen. I felt like the not like again not just this character, that one dude that like kind of led the other guys against Odysseus, did not like his actor at all, bro. He was not.
Oh, but like Eurycles? Eurycles, I think is his name.
Yeah, the one that he saves when they're running away from like the big knights.
Yeah. The Giants. Yeah.
He his character was pissing me off. His acting was pissing me off. Everything about that dude I didn't like. Um,
You didn't like him? Okay, yeah,
no, he was.
I low key didn't like him when they went to Cersei's like hut because he was just like, is this a mutiny? Depends on what you do. Okay, bro.
Like, please shut up, bro. Um, another thing. This is something that I think was another thing that only lasted like the first half hour. I don't know what it was. The editing in that first half hour, it felt more like a trailer than it did the actual movie. Like something was just off about it. Like the way it cut from like one scene to the next, I didn't mess with it at all. But it strangely just got better after that like first half hour.
It's crazy how everyone, yeah, like that's all I heard. Like people say like, oh, the first like 30 to 40 minutes of the movie are like okay, and then after that the movie locks in for the rest of the like 2.5 hours that it's gonna run for.
Yeah, it's very strange. Well, actually, it's 2 hours and 20, I think.
Yeah, because it's 2 hours and 52 minutes, but basically 3 hours.
Yeah. Now we can get into what I liked, or I feel like what we liked, because I feel like we're gonna have the exact
Yeah.
same opinions on this. Like I said, it kind of took a while for it to grow on me, but especially towards the end, Matt Damon was killing it as Odysseus. Same thing with Tom Holland. I think people are being a little too harsh on him because, like, obviously, he wasn't as good as like everyone else. But like, lay off of him, bro. This is like his first real movie.
I feel
You
like
know?
most of the criticism for Tom Holland is because he is like a Marvel actor, so people are like maybe kind of pissed. Like, oh, we could have gotten someone so much better for Telemachus and not just the and not just Spider-Man.
And like that may be true that we could have gotten someone better, but this at the end of the day, I think he did just fine. I think he actually did good.
He did do pretty well.
Anne Hathaway, another great performance, and real highlight of it was Robert Pattinson. Beautiful work from Robert as always, bro. Genuinely, I don't think I know a movie of his that I don't like. But, well, besides Twilight, but I haven't actually seen it, so I'm not gonna speak on that.
I have Big Dog. You're not missing anything.
Okay, thank you. As much of the problems I have with okay, that just goes straight to the bottom. Sorry. As much of a problem as I have with his suit, I think Benny Safdie did just fine as Agamemnon. He was tough.
I think the best part of Benny Safdie is the fact that he didn't talk a lot. Because, like, in the scene that he started talking, I was like, okay. Like, when they're in Hades, I'm like, all right, Big Dog.
His voice kind of...
Yeah, but, dude, like, he's so... Like, when he's not talking, he's, like, really good at horror film. Like, I can take him seriously in Oppenheimer because he's speaking, like, with an accent when he's playing Teller. But, like, dude, the second he drops the accent... I just cannot take him as seriously like when he's talking.
Yeah. John Bernthal. I said this to Lucas earlier, but like I don't think he's a bad actor. He surprised me in this movie. He was like surprisingly good. Even if he did show up for only just a little.
I feel like most of the actors like that are advertised, they're in the movie. Like I think the only like performers that are in the movie more than maybe a total of like 15 minutes are like obviously Matt Damon, Anne Hathaway, Tom Holland, and I don't even know about Robert Pattinson if he's in the movie that much.
Well, I feel like we get a thing of his like every time we cut back to whatever Telemachus is doing.
Yeah.
So maybe, you know.
Like whenever we cut back to like Ithaca or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say that Cyclops scene was insane. For a movie that's not horror at all, there was some surprisingly spooky moments. Like the body horror when they get to like the hut with the witch, that was insane.
No, I heard about like when I saw her and then she's like, "Oh, I am Cersei." I was like, "Dude, I heard online like this scene's insane." I thought it was just gonna be like they gradually turned like into pigs, not like she
molds them like clay.
Yeah, and molds them into pigs.
Yeah, that was just crazy, bro.
Dude, and then the one part of it that like really sticks with me is like that one guy where she just takes her whole forearm and just like shoves it down his gullet.
His throat.
It's like, dude, that's gross.
But yeah, the Cyclops scene, fantastic. So the scene with the witch really got me because obviously the body horror was really freaky, but the scene where Matt Damon goes in and talks her like out of killing him and into transforming his buddies back, that was like, I think that was the transition moment where I was like, okay, Matt Damon's actually starting to cook. Because that was my problem with the performance earlier. When they're in the cave with the Cyclops, the way Matt Damon's delivering his lines does not sound like he's in fear for him and his crew's life. It kind of just sounds like, oh, wow, shucks, guys, we're stuck in here with a Cyclops. That's not good news. But then, in the scene with the witch, like, he actually, you feel the pressure and the stakes that are at hand.
Well, probably because, let's be real, he lost, like, his whole fucking crew at that point. Like with the...
Well, I mean, his guy, he just saw, like, is in the Cyclops scene, he just saw, like, 4 of his guys get, like, mutilated and eaten. I feel like he should have been delivering his lines like that earlier in the movie.
But I do think after that, after he saw, by the way, the Cyclops' name is Polyphemus.
Oh, like the Isaac item. Mods, put that on screen. Thank you.
I guess like the Isaac item. But yeah. So, I the part that I was most hyped for was the Cyclops part because I remember reading about that in fifth grade. In English,
Yeah.
we were talking about the Odyssey, and then that was like one of the scenes that you talk about. You talk about Polyphemus. By the way, I am cooked because the way that I fell, I am currently just in the middle of nowhere, and I think I'm gonna have to run further.
I'm not doing very good, but the part with the sirens was another moment where like Matt Damon's performance was like insanely good. Like the facial expressions that he does during that scene really like sells the fact that he's being like reminded of all the things he like couldn't accomplish. Oh yeah, that reminds me. A quick shout out. Even though he didn't have a huge role in the movie, Elliot Page I think did pretty good as Sinon. I'm pretty sure that's how it's said.
Sinon.
Especially in the scene where like he's in Hades and he's like talking to Odysseus. I think that's when Elliot Page really showed off the skills right there.
It's genuinely crazy how it's like how I really want to know how they all huddled into the horse without Sinon knowing. Like, how do you miss that?
I don't. Like, I couldn't keep. Like, I couldn't keep myself serious in that situation.
Yeah, because like what is it? John Bernthal. Listen, I'm just gonna keep calling it like the actors. It was kind of difficult to pick up names, honestly, watching the movie. But yeah. So John Bernthal, he's saying like, oh, yeah. So we left him behind, and it's like, did they make him think that they just ditched him?
I guess, because apparently he didn't know that Matt Damon was like right next to him.
Yeah, like, did they just ditch him in the, or like make him think? So then, like, when the Trojans showed up, and they were like, "Oh, what's this huge horse?" Or, dude, no, they didn't even ask questions first. They just immediately slimed out Xenon. They just chucked this.
Yeah, they put the thing in his arm.
Yeah, and then like they walk over, and they're like, "What is this?" And he's like, "It's like a gift from like Athena or something, right? Like it's an offering."
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Oh, but like they stopped the Trojan from killing Sinon," and it's like, "Oh, you know, it's a gift from the gods, so we can't kill the messenger." I mean, they did because they put a huge spear right through his chest already.
Yeah. I guess that was an effort.
There was an effort to let Sinon live like 3 seconds longer. But yeah.
Oh, I fell all the way down. No. Oh, Iron Man.
Oh, hey. Look, there goes Matt Damon. I need to buy Agamemnon. This would have been really funny if I bought Agamemnon.
Yeah. Hold on. I'm gonna chill. Let's chill for a bit so I don't have to stress out about the platforming.
Yeah.
That's okay, not going there because that's gonna make us fall, but let's just chill right here. The battle, like the actual Battle of Troy, that scene,
everything.
the action itself is really good. Like I was surprised that like, and I'll get to that later, how good some of the action scenes were. But yeah, the Battle of Troy was like brutal, bro. And like, no, the feeling that you get when they finally open the door and like successfully let all the soldiers in.
And then, dude, Agamemnon's just standing there.
Just standing. Oh, that part was crazy.
No, wait, I think I was thinking about this in the shower, and the way that I think the reason I love like how they did Troy and like the invasion of Troy is the fact like at the start of the movie it's like it's a story, right? Where it's like, oh, they had the Trojan horse and they brought it to Troy. But then it's like you see the different sides. You talk to John Bernthal's character, right? Hold on, let me pull up on Letterboxd. Where is he? John Bernthal. Menelaus, I think that's his name, right? Menelaus.
I believe so.
The way that because he's Agamemnon's brother, and the reason that they went to Troy was because like his wife was there. Right?
Yeah.
Like Helen was there, so it was like, oh, you know, we gotta go get her. So they invade Troy. But the way that he does it, because it was something selfish, like for him, right? Or like he says, like like glorious, righteous, right?
Yeah.
The way that he explains it is like, oh yeah, we jumped out the horse, right? We all like left the horse, and then we opened the door, and like Agamemnon's men run in, right? And like they're all yelling, ah!
Yeah.
They're like cheering as they're running through, but then it cuts there. And then later, at like near the end of the movie, Odysseus is talking about, or when he's pretending to be Sinon, and he's talking to Penelope about what happened at Troy through his point of view because he didn't want to go to Troy. He only did it
Yeah.
because he didn't want
He
Agamemnon to
had to,
destroy.
and then he talks
Yeah,
about
like the way he talks about it, and then the way that it's presented when he's explaining it makes it look so much more terrifying. Like from Odysseus' point of view than from Menelaus' point of view, where it's like, oh, Agamemnon came in and he looked cold, he looked tough, but then Odysseus is like, yeah, it was horrible to see like.
yeah, because before the first time you're shown it, it's just like they're killing the soldier guys, which like I'm not saying that the soldiers are like complete bad guys, but at the same time it's like war, so like you don't really pay that much mind to them. And then when it cuts to Odysseus' perspective, and they're just brutally massacring like all of the civilians, like that aren't even fighting them. And then when he sees like Athena, well, obviously not the actual Athena, but like he sees Athena there getting her head chopped off. Even though we don't see it, I really liked how it cut to the statue's head being cut off to kind of represent what happened. But yeah, that scene where they're just mauling the civilians was insane, bro.
Yeah, like you can see, like they weren't fighting that; they're just trying to run away, right? And it's like, dude, it was crazy. And I also, like you said, like the brutality of it as well. Like you're watching and you're like, dude, this is wild, right?
It was
Um,
brutal, yeah.
yeah, it's another thing. The gods. Speaking of Athena, the gods. Let's talk about the gods. I remember hearing way back before the movie was like even like before the first trailer, like a year ago, people were like getting pissed when Christopher Nolan said, "Oh, the gods are going to be more like they're not going to show up, but like their presence will be there." Right? Or I think the
Yeah.
way he worded it is like people thought what he meant was the gods would be more metaphorical and not real, right? But I think I liked the way that they did the gods because instead of it being like a bunch of people in Olympus being like, oh, yeah, target them. I like how, like Poseidon, remember like after they killed Polyphemus, or like, yeah,
Yeah, like
after what they
they're
did to
real.
Polyphemus,
It's just that the way that he shows you that they're real is through like the brutal scenes in like the ocean where like the water's like actively trying to kill them.
yeah, and then like when it's like, oh, Apollo's cattle, it's like they ate one of the cows, and I'll get back to that later because I remember you were talking about it. Um, and then like after Apollo, like they ride off into the night, and then Poseidon sinks everyone except for Odysseus, right?
Yeah.
So I was just like, dude, this is insane. Like,
I like how in terms of like visuals, the only guy we really get to see is Athena, and even then, like Zendaya gets like maybe 5 minutes of screen time. I think that was actually a positive. I like that we didn't see any of the gods for really that long.
yeah. So I also think, um, what I was gonna say about the stuff with Apollo. I remember when we were driving back, you said about your Achilles or whatever. The dude that was like, oh, this is his like right hand man, right?
I know it's part of the prophecy. He just pissed me off, bro.
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like after the stuff at Circe's and they go to Hades, right? After
Yeah.
that and like they go past the sirens, they go through like Scylla's. I found out that's what it was called, like Scylla, right?
Yeah.
They go through there and then they're like, why did you, and he's like, why didn't you tell us what would have happened if we went through the channel? And this he's like, oh, because if we went near the whirlpool, we would have died, like everyone, or you all would have died.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, what else did he like? What else were you told? Um,
That you were all gonna
80s,
die.
right? So I think after
Yeah.
that, and like when they get to like where Apollo's cattle are, I think like they genuinely tried to not eat any of the cattle and just like live off the land and off their rations they already had.
It's
But then
just too late because like by Odysseus trying to keep them all alive, there's that thing where it was like the wind made it very easy for them to get on, but it also made it impossible for them to leave the island. So they like the only choice they had was either starve and die there or die in the ocean. Which I think they picked the worst choice because I don't know. I've never been starved or drowned, but I feel like if I had to pick between the two, I'd probably go starving. But clearly they didn't have the same opinion.
well no, because I think the reason why they chose to just eat the cow is also because like they were just done. Like they noticed too, like right after they eat the cow, all of a sudden they're able to leave the island. Right.
Yeah.
So that basically told them like, yeah, we're all supposed to die. I think at that point they made their peace with it and just decided, screw it. One last meal, might as well make it a good one, right?
I
So
guess.
I remember thinking that it's like, yeah, I think it just was a thing of like, oh, it's whatever, like we're dead anyways. Might as well just eat the cow. Not like it's gonna change anything.
Yeah. Um, that final battle sequence with Odysseus like killing everybody that's in his palace,
All the
and
leaders.
Telemachus is fighting off that one guy trying to give him all the weapons. I really like the detail of like the guys trying to use the weapons against Odysseus, and then he still kind of comes out on top because he's just a smarter fighter.
Yeah.
Again, like I said earlier, the action surprised me at how good it was, especially that last scene.
Yeah,
And
that whole part was like I found it on TikTok already, and like that whole scene is just tough where it's like no one can restring the bow, and then like this random like hobo off the street, or who they think is just this hobo off the street, um, is like, oh, let me have a turn. So they're all like, dude, this guy's not gonna be able to do it. And like he tries doing it, and like obviously like, oh, he can't because like he's weak, he's stupid, and then he just immediately hits it. And
yeah,
like, bro, I know, like, you can see that, dude. That's what's so good about Robert Pattinson's performance. You can see the second he shits his pants because he realizes that's Odysseus because only he was able to restring the bow. And then just to add like more fuel to the fire, he does the thing that he always does before he hunts or kills. Boom, right, dude. Speaking of that, boom. I loved every time he had like a bow. Like even on like Cersei's Island, he hits it, and then like there's that
yeah.
little musical cue where it's like dun 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 boom, right? And I know exactly why they did that too. It's to build hype for the final sequence when he does it again,
And
and then
just the way you can tell with like Robert Pattinson's face, like as he gets exceedingly like more angry and scared that his I don't want to say his guys because it's not like he's the leader, but like the other guys fail to kill Odysseus over and over again.
yeah, like
And I just fell all the way down. Okay.
it's like oh he like every time like new weapons would fall, get the swords, get the swords,
Get the
shield,
bows, get the
yeah,
spears.
yeah, get the
Every single
spears,
time he's countering
yeah.
it.
I remember at the end, like I liked how if you don't know the Odyssey, so the Odyssey is like a comedy, but back in the day,
Yes.
comedy meant something very different than it does. Like today,
Yeah, than
comedy
what it does
means,
now. Yeah.
yeah, today comedy is like, oh, ha ha ha, like you're gonna laugh. But back then, it was more so there's tragedy, which is like like the main character probably dies, right?
Yes.
Or like their life sucks near the end. But comedy it's a huge journey, it's long, but the main characters will most likely end out on top.
Yeah,
Will it be a
I
good?
think what part of it is that it's also like it ends how you want it to end or how you expect it
Yeah,
to end.
yeah. Like I was gonna say, like, is it a good ending? I mean, he gets exiled from Ithaca, so I wouldn't say it's a good ending.
Dude,
for
he
him,
escaped
but
of
it's
his life
better.
after all of
Yeah,
that, man.
I was gonna say,
I'd
like, it's
consider it a good
better.
ending.
Yeah, like, it's better than the alternative, which was death. So, I'd say he got a pretty good deal out of that.
He got to see his wife and kid again? Yeah.
And now, dude, is it even exile if, like, you're with your, like, dude, that's just retirement.
Yeah, he's just going into retirement, bro.
Like, was it, Telemachus was already, like, he's already 20. He's an adult.
He was already of age.
He was already of age to become king. Right? It's just like he needed approval to do it, which he got after Odysseus returned, and then immediately peaced out and went on a vacation, right? Which, after all the bullshit that he went through, bro, yeah, he needed that vacation, dog.
He just, yeah, finally getting to see his wife. Him and his wife need some alone time to spend together.
Right, like, dude, that's fucking absurd, the amount of time that they spent away from each other.
Yeah.
Like, 20 years? Big dog, 20? That's fucking crazy.
And I fell again.
I have no idea what the hell I'm supposed to. Oh, never mind. I know what I'm supposed to do. But yeah, like, I think it's very much a better deal than, like, other tragedies, like Romeo and Juliet, for example, right? Like, where they just both die. So
He gets to retire, and now he's playing only up Fortnite.
Exactly. It's not even like he's in the game. He's just using his own skin, and I just fell all the way to the bottom.
Yeah. I also want to call it to, like, the sound design on, like, some of the scenes.
Oh yeah.
Like when like the thunder and like the waves and stuff. The score, obviously, it's good. I don't know what you want me to say.
I think
it's really well done.
Yeah, one of my favorite parts is the score, because I remember being super interested in hearing what it would be, because Ludwig Göransson said in an interview, like, oh, yeah, Christopher Nolan told me that he didn't want, like, a traditional orchestral soundtrack, right? Like what he did for Oppenheimer had violins and, like, an orchestra, right?
Yeah.
Like strings, brass, percussion. But this time it was like, yeah, but he told me back in the day they didn't have orchestras.
It's not a thing.
They didn't have orchestras like that until, like, Mozart and Beethoven, which in the grand scheme of humanity is not that long ago. Like, that was only...
That's pretty recent, yeah.
From our time, it's like 300 years. The Odyssey has been around for almost, like, 10 times that.
I think Nolan did a pretty good job of handling, like, such a, like, old story. It's like, so okay, I know this is funny word to use now, but, like, an epic story.
Yeah. It is truly an epic. Like, there's no way that you can sit there and not be like, yeah, that's an epic. Right?
Yeah, it's cool. It's awesome, bro. That's what I have to say about it.
Like, I remember, dude, I was sitting there, and the whole, like, 3 hours, listen, like, I wasn't a huge fan of the first half hour, but it still kind of had me interested. Like, I was still kind of like, okay, I can see where
It
this is
wasn't
going.
bad, but in my opinion, that and just in general, how everyone was acting in that first half hour is kind of what stops me from giving it like a instant 5 stars.
Yeah, but it's also like, dude, it's crazy how... And I think something else. I should say this now because I just remembered this. Dude, when it hit the scene with the giants, I thought about it, and I'm like, what would I do in this situation? Like, the two, like, they had two other ships. No, like, what I mean is, like, if I was there and I saw, dude, if I was just one of the guys that got away, right, like, with Odysseus, I would probably be, like, super scared, right, and sad
Yeah.
that basically all my homeboys are getting slimed out, right? And then I thought more about it, like especially with the Giants, because that's when I really felt it. Like when they're all in the water and they're like hacking away at the boats and just killing everyone. I was like, dude, what if I was one of those dudes?
I would
Like, dude,
find a way to kill myself before
no,
they were able to
like,
kill me.
bro, I genuinely thought, like, yo, I would just cry. Like, I wouldn't even try to run. I wouldn't try. I would just hang my head and just sob into my hands from how scared I would be. Like, I would know I'm not going home. Right.
Yeah. I think that is honestly all I have to say about it.
I think I still have a lot more to say. I just need to remember it. Hold on, give me a second. Alright, so let's see. I talked about, dude, visuals, and not just like cinematography, but like the genuine visuals. It is insane how they did like the Cyclops. Everyone knows was practical, right? But
Whoa,
this,
whoa, what you mean it was practical?
yeah, they built a huge puppet for the
Word?
Cyclops. Yeah, and they gave it like touch-ups with CG.
Yeah, I
And
couldn't even tell that it was mostly practical. Wow.
yeah, dude. And then what is it? I'm pretty sure the stuff with Cersei, like when she's turning them into the pigs. Tom Holland said, "Yeah, that's real."
She actually turned all the actors into pigs. It's real, bro.
But no, like she was like actually like the. I feel like you can kind of tell at parts like just looks like wax that she's molding, but dude,
Yeah.
still, man, it was like, ugh, it was gross when they were all turning into pigs.
I agree.
And then I think if I'll have to look this up, but I don't know about the Giants. Like obviously, like the kid when it's like, oh, it's like relax, it's just a child, and then I forgot if it was Odysseus or the other dude, and
There's
they
nothing
were
good.
yeah the other dude, and it's like, yo, if that's a kid, how big are the parents, right? And then like as the kid is
Yeah.
screaming and runs away, you just see the the Iron Giants.
Yes, bro. Those were terrifying.
Like they just like come out through the trees, dude. And then I think like the worst part was the fact that nature was just working against them too, because these random trees would show up out of nowhere and trapping them. And it's like, dude, yeah, no, I would. No, listen, right? I would run if I was in the woods. If I was, the whole thing about me crying, that's if I'm in the boat and they're destroying the boat. At that point, I'm done.
It's
Like,
over.
yeah, like I know I'm dead. I know I'm not gonna make it out alive. Right?
I would just start jumping off and trying to swim to the one that's still.
Dude, that's what they were doing. Some dudes were
I
trying to
know.
jump onto the on the big boat, and it was like, dude, it was shocking on how like scary the Odyssey really is.
At certain portions, yes, there's a lot of horror elements.
Right? Like I think a lot of interpretations of it make it so it's not like I wouldn't think that it'd be that scary. But seeing like what Nolan did with it, I think this is a time where Nolan's realistic um like like the thing like where he wants to make stuff more realistic. I think that worked in his favor because it makes everything like scarier, in my
I
opinion.
agree.
Especially again, Cersei, like the stuff with Cersei, was just,
That
whew,
whole sequence was awesome.
yeah. And then anything else? Hold on, let me Google that right now since like I'm talking about it. Were the Giants in the Odyssey practical?
Dude, I think if they went so far as to do the Cyclops practically, they probably did the Giants practically.
Yeah, so I'm not even trying to say that's a word that starts with an L. Were filmed using forced perspective illusions, wire work, and just tall actors. Okay, so Hobbits. That's essentially what they just did, like what they did with the Hobbits, where they used camera tricks to make the soldiers seem small and the giants seem.
Seem
Stay
big,
with
yeah.
me now, giant.
Okay, bro. Nah, I'm not staying with you. That was my final straw.
Yeah, overall, um, yeah, man, it was just a great movie.
Yeah.
I
Like I said, I had like my small issues with it, but I still think I'd give it, light 9 out of 10.
yeah, like obviously like it's not a perfect movie. No movie is, but I do sincerely believe like out of all of the Nolan movies I've seen, it's like my second favorite. I think like
Dude, you
on
can't say that there's no perfect movies when Hoodwinked exists. I feel like we're kind of discounting the work that was done on Hoodwinked. No.
yeah, like my list on Letterboxd of like Nolan movies ranked is definitely it's number 2.
I had a question. What did you put above Odyssey?
Inception.
Really?
Yeah. Don't you have it? Not
I
higher
have
than
it
Inception?
at third currently.
Oh.
Number one for me is Oppenheimer.
Oh. So we have the same top 3, just different
Y-
places.
Yeah, the top one's different.
Yeah.
I agree that it is the second best Nolan movie.
I find it not that crazy, but still, like after all these years, the Odyssey, which I think is like the one that he wanted to make the most, is his most. I hope he's like super. Like I know for a fact like he's super proud, but I hope he like knows
He put a lot of effort in
how
it, and
good.
like the
Yeah.
effort to make everything practical and like the shooting locations. I heard that like he actually, he anything that he would not ask the actors to do, he wouldn't do. Like he went along with them for everything.
Yeah. And also like just some of the things that like now like
Oh,
maybe maybe now I'll address some things that I like heard about like obviously the biggest historical inaccuracy, right? And the one thing that I remember is like the stuff with the armor, right? Like okay,
yeah.
Agamemnon, I understand if you think it looks like plastic because it does, right? It looks cool, but it looks like plastic. But all the other ones where it's like, oh, Odysseus and everyone else
The
looks
other
like
ones were
stupid.
fine. I didn't have a
Like
problem with them.
I think on their own they just look like whatever. But 100% during the Trojan War, I think Nolan just decided to incorporate the rule of cool where it doesn't make sense, but it just looks awesome,
Yeah.
right? Like, dude, why do you think people aren't that harsh on Agamemnon? Because he shows up mostly during the Trojan War in that stupid looking armor. But like, dude, I didn't even notice how dumb the armor looked until they
It
got to
only looks
Hades.
dumb outside
Yeah, like,
of
dude,
the
like
the Trojan
like when they were in
War, yeah.
Hades and like when it showed the clips of like him when he got home, it looked kind of silly. But like, dude, when they're in the Trojan War and like and like everything insane is happening, it's the rule of cool. It looks dumb, it looks silly, but you don't care because like adrenaline's pumping and you're like, holy crap, this is oh, this is insane, right? Like you don't care. Like
I agree.
and then mm, here's a big one: the ship, right? That ship is obviously not Greek, right? It's not accurate to the
Yeah.
Greek ships of the time. It's actually a Viking longboat. But like when I heard people get pissed about that, I was like, oh well, I mean, let me see as to why Nolan decided, oh, I'll use a Viking ship instead of a regular Greek ship. And it turns out it's because regular Greek ships just aren't like they're just not in circulation. Viking ships are still in circulation, but not Greek ships, which makes sense considering the Vikings were around for a lot longer, or maybe not a lot longer,
Yeah.
but they're a lot more recent than like the Greeks. Like, dude, again, Odyssey, almost 3,000 years ago, Vikings were like the Middle Ages. So those ships are a
Yes.
lot easier to track down than um, old Greek ships. By the way, I just saved myself. Holy crap. I was on my way
Same.
down and I just caught it. Anyways, but yeah. So like, the reason that they picked that ship is because like they're just no longer in circulation, and Nolan didn't want to CGI the boat. Right? 'Cause he was
Yes.
like, I can get a Viking longboat. God damn it, I'm gonna use it. Right?
Yeah.
So yeah,
My ass. Oh, never mind. My ass did fall down.
yeah. So it's like yeah, you know. And also, it looks kind of cool again. Like rule of cool.
Is that everything?
Um. Trying to remember what I remember like seeing in the.
I thought there would be a lot more to talk about, but at the same time, it's like the Odyssey. Like, it's like, I don't want to say it's like a simple story, but it's like, it kind of is.
I mean, it's the most simple story, because it's the story, right? Like every single
Yeah.
cliche and trope that you find nowadays, you find in the Odyssey because it was like the first to ever do it.
And it's really good. That's
Or-
all I can say. It's very simple. There's not much to discuss.
Or maybe I shouldn't say like one of the first, not the first. It's one of the first to ever do it, because I know like there's some other texts that were written. Like I think there's this one from like East Asia or like Central Asia, maybe like around India or something, where it was kind of like the Odyssey. But I've heard some people say that like, oh, like they wrote it at the same time, and some other people are like, the Odyssey predates that story by like 400 years. So I'm probably gonna have to
That's up for the
look
historians
that
to
up.
argue.
Yeah, that's up for the historians to argue. To me, you know, the Odyssey is like one of those stories. I don't know if it's the story, but like it's. I don't know if it's like, oh, no one else came up with it. Like I'm sure people came up with similar stories. So, is that?
I think that's it, man.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah.
All right, well, I give the Odyssey 5 stars. Clean. Because I'm sure that's just like recency thing, and I'm sure after I rewatch it, I'll probably give it a like a 9. Like I don't think I don't think my rating will ever go below 4.5 stars. I think like it's 5 or it's 4.5. It's doesn't.
I think it's a light 9. You know?
Yeah, like it's interchangeable. If you're a big Nolan fan, like I've seen not every movie, but most of his movies, um, then I mean you'll like it. But you
Yeah.
know, if you're like one of those guys that's like, oh, I'm watching it because I'm a fan of the Odyssey. I haven't read the Odyssey, so I don't know what to tell you. I have to watch it and let me know.
Yeah.
You know, I was supposed to read it years ago because I remember buying it years ago, and I just never got around to it. Because I just didn't want to. But now I might. In like 3 years, 3 years, give or take, I'll read the Odyssey.
Hell yeah, bro.
Yeah,
Who the hell is Joey Caliente, bro?
I don't know.
He's kind of tough, though.
Well, yeah, that's it. So that's all for the Odyssey. Really
We'll
funny how
promise that the next one will be better and more lengthy, bro.
Yeah, I mean, again, like it's the Odyssey. So, I mean, even then, this is like almost an hour that we sat here talking. After editing out all the random stuff, it's probably going to be like 40 minutes talking about
Yeah.
a single movie. Most movie reviews on the internet are like 8 minutes long. So, yeah. Next movie we talk about, I don't know. Will we have a regular? Oh, next upload. Depending on when this comes out, the next upload might be a Delta written video, but not
True.
not the one that you expect.
It's a very interesting video.
So that's it. Bye.
Yes, very.